Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960 AM. So, one of the things that COVID-19 has done is it's really harmed some of our local businesses. And so one of the things that I wanted to do was to introduce you to some of the local businesses here in Mississauga and hopefully get them some business. And so one of the ones that really intrigued me is a music business in Streetsville. And so I want to introduce you to Uday Shetty and Nikhil Shetty. Is that correct? The pronunciation of your name?
No. It's Uday Shetty and Nikhil Shetty. As long as you don't mix up the I for an E, we're good, Okay. I mean, the E for an I, we're good.
Got it. Fantastic. And,
thank you.
And Nikhil, tell me, where is your studio and your store?
We're located in Streetsville, Mississauga here.
Yep.
So it's located right at Main Street and Main and Queens.
Right on the square.
Right. Yeah, we're right at the right across from Goodfellas.
Excellent.
Well, in fact, right next to Murphy's Ice Cream.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Excellent. And so, Nikhil, I understand you're the operator of the store, and you're a musician and a songwriter and a teacher. Is that correct?
Yeah, at the shop. Yes, absolutely. Right now, I've been teaching since 2011, but it's only been out of just being an artist and becoming a musician, which is what I initially got into music for. And now with the investment that my pops helped out with taking up within the shop, we've been able to continue the business that was already here, which was a retail shop, lessons primarily. And yeah, we're building up on that. I'm bringing my experience working at Long McQuaid like almost 8 years ago now, which is like the premier music shop in Canada. And that kind of tied in with picking up with the shop, but more importantly, as a musician and a songwriter and a recording artist, my studio is also based out of here. So we're making a lot of records, we're putting out a lot of stuff right now, and then on top of that, building with the community, teaching lots of students, upcoming artists. It's turning into a hub more or less. That's what I envision.
Awesome. Yeah. Now, what type of music are you into?
I produce everything from like trap, hip hop to country. Like I could do it all because I grew up in the rock scene as a rock musician originally, and that's what I am. But I'm influenced by R&B, soul, and the whole Toronto movement between Drake and The Weeknd and that whole world that came out big in the last 10 years.
Yep.
But I'm also a rock kid, and my first band I was into was like Our Lady Peace, and that's like a Toronto band, and that was like when I first immigrated to Canada. I kind of that. So yeah, I'm all over the map really. My brother's actually in a project called Siblings, and they're on the label. They're technically hip hop, but they do everything pop, R&B, soul, even some alternative elements, rock elements, a lot of cool things. So our whole collective is really a bit more of a musicians thing, like a band, but we are typically pop singer-songwriters. So we can do kind of a whole spectrum of stuff.
And Uday, pop, I understand that you're a singer. What type of music do you sing?
Yeah, it's just a matter of jamming one day, hopefully. But my music is something that goes back to 70s and 80s. I was a big fan of the Beatles at the time when I was in school.
Yep.
And I mean, that was like a very trendy time for us. I mean, the hair and the shoes and, and all that. So yeah, I've been through all that.
Fantastic.
But yeah, for me, music, I consider music as medicine.
Yep.
And it's really a part of my life too.
Excellent. And what motivated you to put your money into opening up a music store?
Yeah. Well, like I said, it was an opportunity, that came up with my sons being in music, and like Nikhil, of course, being a musician himself, and he's like he's got his heart and soul into it, and we are not very far from where the store is. Our home, and I just jumped on it. It was not the greatest time, but we're doing okay now. Of course, it's been a year and a half, or just going to be 2 years in September. But yeah, I don't want to sound negative with what's going on right now, with the COVID situation and so on. But we were closed we were literally, forced to be closed, just like others, for 3 months. Thank God it's all open, and Canada is definitely doing better than the rest of the world. So we just have to get back and get it going.
Well, I love the square that you're in. I often have pizza across the street from you and have ice cream just beside you. And it's a wonderful square. Who puts all the acts on the little stage out front of you? Is that something that you could put some of your performers on?
Well, since the time we started, we have been involved with the city and BIA, and basically if not for the COVID right now, like tomorrow, Fridays, Saturdays, we used to have live music, and it's definitely a very happening place with a lot of busking and live music, and so. But this is all set by the city.
So what they've done in some places is just put circles that are each 6 feet away from the other circles, and told families that can be in that circle, that's their little pod. And as long as it's 6 feet away from another little circle on the ground, you're okay. And then the performer up on stage just needs to be 6 feet away from any other performer and any person. So let's bring some live music back to Streetsville.
Yeah, the city probably have their apprehensions about doing what they did during the normal or the pre-COVID days, but I definitely have. I would be supporting my kids to go ahead with the the live music, like you said, keeping the safe distancing in mind. And summer is the time. Right now is the time that we should be able to do that, and I'm sure the city and BIA would be supporting us in doing this.
Nikhil, tell me some of the challenges for young people, young artists getting going, and how are you helping them get going?
In COVID times or just in general?
Both.
I was just going to say, first off, about the whole concert industry and thing. Just with COVID, you can imagine, I think I read some stupid statistic, it's like artists 80% non-essential right now. And I was just you can imagine, we're getting treated like the worst of the worst at the bottom of the bottom, like musicians, right? No concerts, the entire touring industry. One of my students' dad is actually the TM for Amanda Marshall. He used to be TM for Rush, Tom Petty. I don't know how, we connected. It's amazing. He's out of work. And he's just trying to figure out, I'm going to do a live streaming concert or this and that. And it's the big upper labels, and they're all connected with this whole thing. So they're the ones who, were making this decision. And end of the day, we suffer a lot with that. But at the lower levels, you have all the musicians who play restaurants, the local guys, they're out of work too.
Yep.
Buskers and so forth. So end of the day, the people who are thriving are the producers, online guys, everyone online, virtual, this and that, and retail. A lot of people are just
But if you've got a studio, you could be doing stuff online from your studio.
100%. We are. And I didn't mean to start on a negative foot. I was just saying, if you recall SARS in 2003, they had the largest concert ever that summer called SARS Stop.
Yep.
And that thing was incredible. I was younger. I wasn't even a musician yet, but it's a different time now. A lot of people are living in their phones, and whatever the narrative is, it is what it is. So we have no control with that. But I have fellow artists who are playing a drive-in theater show soon. That's the first thing I've heard of that. So these guys are actually on a management deal right now, pushing up the label stuff. And that's the first thing I've heard of, a drive-in concert in Toronto. So that's one thing. With the square and stuff, I really am going to advocate to play, but even us as a shop, we can do a lot just to advertise for ourselves. There's a huge lineup with the ice cream even now, in this time, and we could just put a couple speakers up, play, and attract a lot of people, even promote our music.
And just put out some circles on the bricks, on the interlocking brick, to make sure people stay away from each other.
Yeah, either us or a city regulation, somebody, but end of the day, it's human interaction. It's the most important thing that we have with music. And as far as the studio, and getting back to your question was what can I do for artists, or what's the struggle? How
do you help young people get going? Young aspiring artists. You're one yourself. What are
Yeah,
the
exactly.
things that you need to do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. End of the day, I can say that the industry is constantly changing with music, you know, with the artist stuff. It's like, you know, it's gone from the days of making money from record sales to like making zilch to now starting to make some again through streaming. And on top of all of that, we've got, you know, touring was the #1 way to make money.
Yeah.
So now touring kind of been cut out of the equation. But that being said, a young artist, brand new, is not touring, they're starting out. So this is actually the time to be an artist, like as a young new artist, because this is the day and age where you can write, produce your whole record with an incredibly talented team online who are just nobodies, DIY people. But the quality is like top notch because of the technology and the YouTube learning and so forth, or coming to a place like us. But basically, you can start your entire career, go viral on the internet now, really connect the dots on social media, build a huge following to the point where you never could do that before. You had gatekeepers, like these record label people, and they would always be there, right? Now, at least you can actually do that and make a splash, whether it's, you know, that little community you play for the rest of your life and you build up from there, or you actually end up becoming a huge rock star and, you know, sign label deals and whatnot. But
So if I walked into your store, what could you do for me?
right off the bat, assuming you're an artist.
Let's say I'm a burgeoning artist. I want to be one.
Okay, and assuming you play an instrument or
Yeah.
you sing?
Let's say I play.
Okay. Yeah, so if you're like,
you're gonna sell me the instrument, you're gonna give me lessons, you're gonna give me studio time.
well, there's two different things there. There's like the student level who's like never learned an instrument. They're like, I want to do this. Then I'm like, okay, you've got the option of take some lessons, start out with an instrument. We'll put a real good package to you, you know, get you a free lesson or something with it to start and get you a good deal with the instrument. And that gets you into the flow, right? Then there's the level of like, I can play guitar and sing a bit. I've been writing songs, like, but I've never recorded. And like, I think maybe I could do it, can I? There's like that level where we can take them, do everything for them or work with them and teach them how to do it. Typically as an engineer, there's a rate with an artist, or there's like the student rate, like an artist development rate, or there's doing just renting the room, using the technology and being able to use it on your own. So I can provide basically for any level the entire package, from songwriting to the recording, the mixing, the editing, the mastering, and then even self-promotion. There's the entire marketing PR side.
Is anyone in your studio right now?
Just my brother's band, and I my bandmate, one of my other bandmates is teaching a lesson, but there's no one actually using it for a record. I have a bit of work myself today. So
can you show it to us?
Yeah, of course, I'd love to.
How big is it?
I'll show it to you in a second. The only thing is, my phone might disconnect temporarily because like I need to go replace the battery. Literally,
don't worry about it. Another time. Send me a picture of it. Send me a picture of it.
Okay.
I'd be interested. Okay, well, this is fantastic. You know, I've interviewed a bunch of young performers and performers that have been around for a long time. I interviewed Gilmore, and he said that he's a former drummer for Triumph, runs Metalworks, the big music facility here in Mississauga. He said the biggest challenge is we don't have enough studio space. And then he said we don't have enough performance space. So it sounds to me like you're providing at least the studio space, and right up front of you, you got the performance space. So we got to get going. And just around the corner, he went through at one point in time a litany of all the different bands that got going at the Masonic Lodge right there on Thomas Avenue, and said that, you know, one of the challenges we have is that, yeah, you can go to a bar down in Port Credit and perform to, 25 to 50 people or Streetsville or wherever. But there aren't those places that you can go and perform to like 100 or 150 people. And the Masonic Lodge in Streetsville was one of the places. And he went through a whole litany of people in the 70s and 80s that got their start there. So, you know what? The work that you're doing, the support that you're providing, the encouragement that you're providing, the studio space that you got, I think it's fantastic. So good luck and congratulations. If people want to come check you out, do you have a website?
Yeah, absolutely. Currently, the website for the shop is mainstreetmusic.ca. That's MAINSTMUSIC.ca. We're currently in a process of rebranding because my record label is called Burbeat Records. based in here. And that's where like the real production and studio work is going on. The actual shop is connected to that. But what we're doing is out front, we're putting up some new packages that are specifically tailored for all these new things that we're offering, which we've always offered, but now it's actually, you know, evolving to the point where we know how to people. Also with the studio space, it is a rehearsal space. So that is another thing that we're offering, is to make it a rehearsal place, but it's not like your rehearsal factories. I don't know if you know that place. They have like multiple rooms that you can rehearse in. This is just kind of it's our main live room in the studio, and it is available to rehearse, but it's usually the artists that we're in pre-production with on a record, or, you know, starting to work with people. Yeah, so.
Well, gentlemen, Uday and Nikhil Shetty, is that correct?
Yeah.
Nikhil of Main Street Music in Streetsville. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate the work that you're doing, particularly with young performers, and looking forward to hearing some of your music someday. And to remind everyone, that website is mainstreetmusic.ca.
Yeah, if I could just add on the closing, just to go back to your question that you had, the age range of students we have in the store is from the youngest we have had is a 3-year-old, and we have had the eldest one who was 65 years old. So also, just for your information, Nikhil missed out on talking about this, is the students are groomed to be musicians, not just as individual musicians. He does create bands, groups. So that's all part of the, the business that we have there.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us tonight, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
If I could just add one thing also, is our Instagram, just to follow us. That's the main place to find our music as artists. And the shop is made, you know, originally around lessons and retail, but the actual artistry and the music that you want to check out is at Burbeat Records. So BURRBEAT Records, RECORDS. You look that up. The website will be up soon, but it's the Instagram that you can find all the artists and the music from there that we're all making here. So, and of course, come on in to listen as well anytime.
Awesome. Thanks very much, everybody. Good night.